It just seems to me, from a personal point of view, that I have to tell you, as the initial determination by the NCAA has been examined, I find the steps and their assertion of jurisdiction more and more disconcerting. You know, my own review of what I do know, and I can tell you I certainly don't know anywhere near the amount that anybody who's really looked at this would know, but my determination is the athletes did not cheat. And certainly, I think to the extent that the NCAA bases their jurisdiction in this instance over some sort of atmosphere that was created, I'm not sure that the record as I know it establishes that there's an atmosphere for anything other than a high-spirited support for all of the athletic programs. But having said that, my question for you is, oh, and let me just add for a moment, I saw an article recently where I guess the governor and the administration and whoever else the NCAA has decided to now sue is being criticized as supporting our, quote, home team. Well, guess what? In Pennsylvania, we have many home teams, and it depends where you live and who you support and what sport it is, but we support all of our home teams, all hundreds of our colleges, there's not just one home team in Pennsylvania, and that's a naive statement for anybody that thinks that we're just supporting Penn State in this issue because it's Penn State and not Temple or Pitt or Lincoln or all the Division III schools. So here's my question for the rest of you, if you're able to answer it. It seems to me that given what I considered at least to be an overreach and a potential problem for all colleges to have to deal with, and that would be an investigation or sanctions that interfere with other civil processes and criminal processes that may exist and that provide due process and opportunity, protection of witnesses, protection of so-called alleged wrongdoers. Given that they've jumped in here, are universities in Pennsylvania and around the country worried about this? Are they afraid of retaliation by the NCAA? Or is there concern out there that I'm not aware of? Because it just seems like the other institutions, and there are thousands across our country, are almost deafeningly silent in expressing some of their own concerns about this subject of jurisdiction and appropriateness to enter into pending investigations.
My cut on the situation is that this is a first. And so for many of us, we've not had to deal with something of this magnitude before, so you probably just don't know how to handle it. But I would venture to also say that we are concerned as to how this will play out, because oftentimes things of this nature will set a precedent, and we are concerned about that.
Yeah, I would say essentially the same thing, that the Penn State experience has made all of us more attentive and maybe in some ways more apprehensive.
Yeah, I had a prior experience with the NCAA at Indiana University. We were put on probation for basketball violations 6 years ago when Kelvin Sampson was the coach. And I can honestly say the hiring of Tom Crean and the tremendous centralization of our athletic program, their athletic program. I mean, I've been promoted from Hoosier to Owl since. For their athletic program has been very positive. So I think I don't know the details of the Penn State situation. I was 700 miles away. But I think that the NCAA can actually play a positive role in this, and it certainly did at Indiana University.
I would just close, Mr. Chairman, by saying I, for one, compliment Congressman Dett, and I hope that Congress at least gets to the bottom of whether this is really an appropriate jurisdictional matter or not. Thank you.
Thank you. Representative